All right. So yeah, last time we got a good old uniform for Chihiro so that she could go to the library. And yeah, she's fitted in quite well, nobody's noticed yet, so that's good. Yeah, and yeah, she's showed us more of her story, and again, still very depressing. But that's fine. Oh, I see. I finished the last paragraph and returned to her laptop. It didn't seem to have progressed any further than I knew about. We're still at the stage of the lead girl's introduction. But it's very cute.
かわいい
Yeah, this girl is unexpectedly charming.
かわいいですか
Yes, just like you. I meant it as praise, but she didn't seem very happy. She had stopped moving just like she was before I arrived.
やっぱり書き直そうかな
Which part?
ここまで全部です
Dang, I see. Alright, well, I mean, if you wanna... Huh? That was too abrupt of a decision, so I was taken aback. I mean, a lot of writing is a lot of rewriting, so you know. Everything up to this point would be more writing than I could plainly comprehend. Wait a second. Why do you need to rewrite it?
女の子がかわいいと言われてしまったので
I acted like I was criticizing her, although that clearly wasn't my intention. Is that so bad?
彼女はまだこの段階ではそういう記号でくくられてはいけないかなと
Huh? It was getting more and more confusing. She said I couldn't allow her to hit the proverbial writer's block. Ah, the good old writer's block. Well, haven't you been able to move forward due to rewriting it all the time? I recalled a figure of 30 or 60 times. If she restarted again, it really would never end.
そういう話ですが
She replied awkwardly. Maybe she realized it herself. And it's fine. Besides, this short episode is interesting.
違います
Oh, sorry.
ミチ君
Sorry, Chihiro. You simply denied it.
それがそうとしか読んでもらえないなら意味がないんです
I wanted to give an opinion of some sort, but... Sorry. I guess I don't know. I gave in docilely. I probably looked at it differently. He went silent as though collecting of thoughts and nodded.
この女の子はもっとずれてるはずなんです
But what if I find that cute, though?
ただ可愛いとか微笑ましいとかそう読まれてしまうということは女の子の存在を書ききれてないんです
I see.
冗談のような出来事を彼女が真面目に取り組んでいることに不安とか違和感を感じるようでないといけなくて単純に可愛いとか面白いとだけしか言われないのは
Oh. After exclamation, I gradually agreed. If you put it that way, I got the feeling that may be right. But that made me think. Who was correct? Rather, what was correct?
天智
Yes, Chihiro? She smiled at me as I thought it over.
君ありがとうございます
Aw. You're welcome. I didn't know her motive for thanking me, so I just stared back. However, she was looking down at her screen. There was some fuzzy feeling in my chest. Oh, Chihiro understood things that I wasn't able to. It really was different. I was jealous of people with talent or people who had strong objectives. Of course, talent and great effort didn't necessarily guarantee success. Is that what Mr. Himura was saying? But people of talent definitely had a higher probability of succeeding. And people with an objective are also stronger than those without one. Would that really be an excuse and not just a deception? I fully realize the unfairness of this world. Dang, that we're getting depressing too, huh? The days passed by calmly for some time after that. Going to the library after 4th period became a daily routine. Ah, nice. That's awesome. Chihiro stuck into the school during the hustle and bustle of lunch period so we could eat together. We met up again after school and talked about what we did that day, and chatted about other trifling things. Little by little, the story grew. It was just like making a snowman. Ah, perfect. I love making snowmen. Actually, a really good comparison though. Like writing a novel, is, like can actually. Yeah, I agree. That's a really good analogy actually. We're at home together before sunset. Walking to the park along the beach was common after we simmered down from writing. Devin told me stories about her big sister that she exchanged emails with. Good old Kay. Her sister seemed troubled lately, and though she tried, Chihiro wasn't able to encourage her very well. It's okay, Kyosuke's got that down. He could comprehend the information she was given, but couldn't understand her feelings quite as easily. Even so, he wanted to become her sister's strength in her own way.
お姉ちゃんが学校の先輩に告白されたそうなんですが、その返事に困ってるらしくて。
Hey, our boy. I see. You really had no reason to come to me for love advice, but I guess there wasn't anyone else you could go to. Mr. Amora was, well, out of the question. Hey, you don't know that? He has his own love interest too, you know? It's just complicated for him too, but it's fine. So it's not just a question of simply liking or disliking him. Painful as it might be, it'd be better to be rejected outright if the other person didn't like you. But from what I heard, her sister was far from indecisive.
お姉ちゃんは多分私のことを気にしてるんです。
Worried about you?
そうですね。ちょっと説明しないとわからないですよね。
She inclined her head childishly. She being pulled into her story about his sister? It looked so cheerful. It was like she was a different person.
子供の頃、4年前の事故よりももっと前のことです。
Oh, you gonna tell us about Hiro?
私たちには幼なじみのお兄さんがいました。
Yep, our other boy.
私たち3人はとても仲のいい、それこそ本当の兄弟みたいな関係だったんです。
Aw. She looked far off and a smile rose to her face.
だけどお姉ちゃんの行為は違いました。兄弟としてではなく、一人の女性としてお兄さんのことが好きだったんです。私もとてもお似合いな二人だなって思ってました。
Aw.
でもお兄さんに去年恋人ができたんです。
I looked at her. She was still smiling, but I sensed a hint of loneliness in her voice.
お姉ちゃんはずっとお兄さんと一緒にいたのに、その女性よりも先に告白することができなかったんです。ずっと一緒にいたのにできなかった。あの交通事故が起きてしまったから。
Oh. I see. I didn't mean to, but that murmur made its way out. Before I knew it, I was looking up at the sky.
あの事故は私だけではなく、お姉ちゃんの時間も止めてしまったんです。私たちは双子で、お姉ちゃんはとても優しいから、私を置いていくことができなかった。もちろんいつかはとは思っていたでしょう。でもそれは間に合わなかった。お姉ちゃんは好きだという気持ちを秘めたまま、それからもお兄さんと兄弟であるかのように振る舞っていたんです。そして私がすごいって憧れていたバスケットボールに打ち込むようになって、決して心変わりを許すことはなかった。
She's a kind person. There was no need for her to say any more. Her sister did it to protect the place Chihiro could return to. It was in order to protect the world Chihiro knew. Her sister resolved to stand still, and in exchange lost the person she loved. She was a very kind, strong, but sorrowful person.
はい、私の自慢のお姉ちゃんです。
She was smiling triumphantly. I had never imagined her doing so usually. But I don't think she was that honest with herself. I mean, well, yeah, that's Kay, but she got it eventually. Well, you know, It crossed my mind, so I thought I'd speak frankly. If not for her sister's strength, I probably wouldn't be here talking with Chihiro like this. Chihiro wouldn't have opened up like she has. In that sense, I really owed his sister. For that reason, I thought it'd be good if I could give a little something back. I mean, I could always call Mizuki and ask to thank her personally. I never really had friends. Naturally, I also haven't had any girlfriends. I also don't understand the sense of distance when talking to people, and I probably don't notice when I mess up. And for those reasons, I want to hold people's feelings dear. He responded sincerely to my roundabout speech. I honestly don't know how strong a connection you three had with each other, but if your sister was afraid of telling him how she felt, wouldn't it be because she's thinking of that guy who confessed to her just as dearly? My intuition was poor, but her reaction told me I was right to some extent. I kept talking to back up what I was saying. Probably didn't expect such an honest confession from him. There was something she couldn't do after all. Her gaze wandered a little as she thought over what I said. I just feel like we're about to confess to Chihiro right now. If everything happened all at once like that, she wouldn't be able to tell what was most important to her anymore. But I wonder, is she the type who'll take a chance to move forward? I'm like legit just getting that vibe that he's about to say something himself. Yeah. Hadn't I veered off from her original question? They'd asked what sort of answer she should give her sister. Well, I don't really know what would be the correct answer. But wouldn't it be okay to just believe in her? Well, she's that good of a sister, so I'm sure she'll realize it herself. Even if she doesn't, everyone seems to like her, so someone will help her out. It was depressing to think I wasn't blessed with such a partner. You know, unless, Chihiro wants to be our partner. Oh, that is cute. That's good. At this point, much like a scolded child, her pretty smile vanished. Oh no. No, that's not true, Chihiro. Oh, there's Shuichi.
町ってのはでっかい家だと言ったやつがいる。
You got a mansion here? It was yet another day. We ended up meeting Mr. Kuza and went to drop off Chihiro. He didn't say Mr. Imura apparently was out at the moment. So we just talked amongst ourselves as we waited. Seemed carefree this particular day.
住宅街は個人の部屋で、商店街は台所。他にも居間とか水回りとかいろいろ。そういうのを動線的に考慮していくと、町は大きな家と変わらないって話。
Excuse me? Okay, I got some questions about the bathroom. Where does he consider his bathroom? Because it better not be outside downtown, okay? I'm just saying. Continue. So he arranged the most commonly used places together into easier to find locations, like going through a sequence of related tasks. Basically, when people plan to travel, they try to take the shortest route possible. They follow a guideline that tries to prevent a pointless round trip. I was a little happy for the admiration.
じゃあ、そこに住んでいる人はでっかい家族なんですね。
それじゃあ俺のことをお兄ちゃんって呼んでいいよ。
Hey, me first, okay? Here, don't take him seriously. Huh.
ま、それは冗談だけどさ。この大きな家も好かれるといいね。
Some mysterious feeling mingled in his voice. Chihiro and I exchanged looks. Probably got the same impression.
みんながこの町を好きだと言ってくれれば、亡くなってしまった音羽も浮かばれるだろう。
His expression and tone were the same as usual, but he had experienced that earthquake. Oh, dang. That's sad. He said he was then realized it was an imitation trying to become authentic.
私は好きですよ。
Spoke quietly.
舞台は人のためにあるし、人は舞台のためにある。どちらが欠けても成り立ちません。
小説の観点からの捉え方かな。いや、人がいないと音羽が成立しないってのは確かにそうだよな。
I wonder if there's gonna be a chapter that goes over the earthquake in more detail. If there is, I'm not ready for that either, by the way. Goodness gracious, this is already depressing as it is. He nodded to himself. Thinking it that way made sense. Who would the lead be? I asked abruptly. Well, if this is a stage, it should be some vital character. That's us and Chihiro. We're both the vital characters. That'd be someone appropriate for that role in the city. I was feeling a bit egotistical and considered either Chihiro or myself. I mean, well, you know. But you didn't seem quite right for it. Then again, neither did I. Lol. Irony. Gotta love the good old irony.
それなら2人のためかな。
Yeah, he knows. He knows. He had a carefree smile. I thought he was teasing us for a second, but his gaze told me otherwise.
1人は彼女。
Hey.
もう1人があいつ。
Oh, are you talking about you? I thought you talked about us in the first place, said that guy. So maybe he's talking about you. And Yuuko.
あいつ。
秘密。
Darn it! He brushed over a question with a smile. Then, would everyone else be supporting characters? Nah, we're an ensemble cast. It's fine, okay? We're just a big old ensemble.
いいよ。最初に千尋ちゃんがどっちも大切だって言っただろ。
Exactly, that's right.
いくらバイオリンの腕が良くたって一人じゃオーケストラはできないってことさ。
He happily told us that from a musician's point of view. There was a person who said the city was like a huge house. This world seemed capable of taking many forms. The days passed by calmly, one by one. It felt like nothing had changed. There wasn't anything that caused that change. Life was like a videotape being rewound and recorded. This extraordinary occurrence was their everyday life.
また明日。
Oh, see you tomorrow, Chihiro. They were piling up high, like daubs of white snow on the red-stained city. All of my feelings for Chihiro were piling up. Oh. About a month had passed since I first met Chihiro. Next week is the deadline for the career survey, huh? I leaned back in my chair and sighed. I completely forgotten about it, but class today reminded me that the deadline was fast approaching.
進路希望。
I had to write down what I want to do in the future on a piece of paper and submit it.
そんなものがあるんですか。
She lifted her face from her laptop and nodded with superficial calmness. The survey was what prompted me to start writing the novel of her in the first place, but there was no way she could remember that. There were many instances lately where Chihiro had forgotten small details, but she remembered the basics of the things that happened. For the past few days, I'd had to re-explain things far more often. What should I do? We're dying. I laid down on the desk and groaned.
なりたいものになればいいと思いますけど。
Thanks, Chihiro. If I knew what that was, I wouldn't be having such a hard time. I replied with an answer I'd already given before. How many people in the world could clearly say that what they wanted? How many people in the world could clearly say what they wanted to be, and how many of them could actually make it happen? I considered being a novelist, but after seeing Chihiro's talent at work, I lost all confidence in that. Dang, we gave up, huh?
何もないんですか。
Oh, maybe we could just stick with being an editor then. He said that like it was unexpected. I don't really have any special talents.
レンジ君はいろいろできるじゃないですか。
Aw, thanks, Chihiro. That's really sweet of you. Like what?
ご飯は美味しいですし、英語の本が読めるそうですし、親切です。
I guess we could be a chef too. Well, I'll think it over some more. I grinned and sat up. How about you? Are you making any progress?
少しですが。
She seemed a little more motivated than before. Her expression was still murky. As her helper, I took a look at her screen.
少しですが。
I guess it could be a chef too.
何もないんですか。
Oh, maybe we can just stick with being an editor then. He said that like it was unexpected. I don't really have any special talents. It seems she made it to around the middle of the story. Ah, that's like the hardest part to write though, is the middle. That's like, at least for me it is. The last girl alive in the world had already begun to obtain complete intelligence. Oh,
人間
I love how we're getting to like actually hear her story a lot too. It's awesome.
役に立つ本も役に立たない本も書いてあることを集約すると全てが人間の話だった。その中でも彼女は役に立たない本に書いてある話が気になった。人間は一人では生きていけない。
Very true, Chihiro. Extremely true, actually.
そう書いてある本がいくつもあったからだ。実際にはそう書いていなくても人のつながりが大切だと説いている話が多かった。しかし少女は一人だった。一人でも生きていた。
Yep, still very depressing.
笑うこと、泣くこと、大切だと言われることが必要ではなかった。寂しさすらない。そういった概念はない。完結していた。何が違うのだろうか。自分は人間という種として間違ったことをしているのだろうか。唯一人類史において初めて到達しうる平均的な人間が自分だ。人類の歴史は二人の人間から始まってしまったから。総計1名における統計からの平均は完全に自己と同一である。何をしても正しい。そして同時に全てが間違っているのかもしれなかった。彼女は絵を描き始めた。書物、楽器、絵画、それらしきものの中で一番自分が人間を作り出すことができそうな道具を手にしただけだ。しばらくは絵を描く術を教えてくれる本を探し読み、必要な道具を倉庫や城から集めてくることで時間が過ぎた。いざ描き始めたらうまくいかなかった。
You know, I gotta say, Chihiro, you're also a really good narrator, by the way.
本に書いてある通りにはいかなかった。
You're such a nice, soothing, calming voice.
才能というものがないようだ。何度も飽きた。別に飽きてもよかった。季節が一つ変わる頃には飽きていることに飽きるからだ。
Oh, dang. We're being bored of being bored, huh? It's actually crazy. But it also kind of makes sense, really.
やがて絵が描けるようになった。大別すると写実的な風景画というものが自分に向いていることを知った。あるものをただあるように描けばいいだけだからだろう。やはりそこにないもの。人間を描くのは大変かもしれないなと思った。
Oof, Chihiro. I mean, honestly, I think it sounds really good. Like, it's still very depressing, but, like, it sounds, like, written really well, though. So, you know, I think you're doing great, honestly. Dang, woof. I see. I nodded after I read the overview. It was just as she had said. As time passed, it would only get harder to write. She was nearly at the heart of her story, but her pace had slowed. Is there anything you're concerned about?
女の子が人間を理解しようとして絵を描くのってどうかなと。
Which means we're back at another fundamental point of the story. He spoke in a grumbling voice as was expected. I had to make lots of revisions up to this point. This part could make or break the story. It'll take too much time to go back and revise after this point.
そうですね。
Again, I think it sounds good, so you know. Her unimpressed reply made me raise my head. She was looking into the distance. She might have been sad, but I had no intention of taking back what I said. We simply didn't have time. However, my goal was to be her guardrail until she finished her story. So that she wouldn't lose her footing on her path. So that she wouldn't fall from a cliff. But there have been many times when I thought that things had to be accepted as they are. Yeah, nothing's perfect. It can't be like completely perfect, so yeah.
また寒くなってきましたね。
But I mean, like with everything she has to deal with, though, it makes sense why she like is struggling, why she's been struggling with it. But yeah, I think I do agree with Frenchie. You know, just gotta leave it as is sometimes. Even though, again, it sounds great to me. Hiro took a breath and gazed at the sky. Yeah, it'll probably get even colder. Oda was a relatively warm city. Said it might actually snow this year. That'd be the first time since I moved here. It will end soon as well.
そうなんですか。
It's almost winter vacation. That's why the deadline for the career survey is approaching.
冬休みか。
We seemed to be deep in thought whenever we talked about the changing seasons. Shortly after that, our conversation stopped. So it's like it's almost winter now, and she talked like in her emails to Kay, she was talking about how like Yosuke confessed to her and everything, and all that was happening. So is this like months after that? Is this like are we going to the next year now? Huh. Lately, we've been having many moments of silence like this. Our meetings were lasting much longer, so we didn't have enough to talk about. There was simply nothing left to talk about. Actually, we had to talk many, many times about what she had forgotten. Her sense of stability had grown ever since the day she received a uniform, for one reason or another, and yet... For some reason, I could only think about snow. That serenity and transience. How nothing remained, nothing accumulated. As soon as they fell, the snowflakes would melt and disappear. It was like the images were being projected directly into my mind.
それじゃあ
We had arrived at the intersection. Oh, yeah.
また明日です。
See you tomorrow, Chihiro. See you tomorrow. I waved and saw her off. Her silhouette melted into the street. See you tomorrow. Abruptly. That remark leaked out like a dancing snowflake. Tomorrow, when I would meet yet another Chihiro. I see. It was astonishing to realize. I was right. Nothing was changing. Everything seemed like it was new. Learning her secret, writing the novel, getting her uniform, sneaking into the library. Hello? Why are we horizontal? But changing the situation hadn't made us any closer. Despite setting those objectives in order to shorten the distance between us. Even though about a month had passed since I first met her, nothing in this world had changed. Oh, back to this. Like life, all stories must come to an end. Oh. Why? Why, Renji? Why? Why do you have to say it that way? Gracious. I flipped through the diary of a girl whose memory disappeared in 13 hours. There were only a few pages remaining. Oh, okay, close the diary. At this point, there had been no particular changes. She was unable to ease her mind after I lodged myself into her life, and she continued to describe petty ups and downs. Though those might be called changes, it couldn't be called progress. I was still just an outsider gazing into her world. Perhaps, as I had feared, she might have already gotten used to that change. Within her diary was a story of a sheep in a meadow tied to a post. What? Sheep that couldn't go anywhere. Sounds dark. She yearned for the outside world. She yearned the journey towards a distant, unreachable horizon. That was probably why she was happy when someone occasionally stopped in her circle. However, she yearned for a person who would keep on walking. But I had already stopped being that person. Oh, why?
Hayo.
Good morning. Morning. Perhaps so much as turning my head, I greeted Mom. She was stifling a yawn as she entered the living room.
良きかな良きかな。
She watched me cook and muttered in delight. Waking up before her had become a habit because I was cooking for two. She got all excited whenever I made breakfast.
でもきちんと続いてるね。
It's not. I'm very, very worried and mentally breaking down right now. There's only a few pages left in the diary, Mom. The bento?
というか、千尋ちゃんと。
Well, for the time being, I didn't know what she was thinking, but I was tired of bluntly denying everything.
ねえ、本当に付き合ってないの？
We aren't.
そう。
Yet. I turned off the burner and looked at her. What?
いや、なんだかレンジの反応も変わりないなーって。
Hey now. Her easygoing attitude made me sigh. I relit the burner and continued a light conversation. Hey, this is just a what if. But would you be happy if Chihiro became my girlfriend?
どうだろう。
She was unusually non-committal. I thought for sure she'd be cheering. I know, right?
まだ千尋ちゃんのことそこまで知らないから。何かあるみたいだし。
Oh, I see. You mean her eye?
それだけじゃないんだけどね。何かおかしな。レンジもそんな質問するしさ。自分で冷やかしたりしておいてなんだけど、そういうのを決めるのはレンジ自身の問題だから。
Alright, you're not wrong there. I couldn't say anything. I mechanically fumbled around with that frying pan and fought it over. Becoming lovers with Chihiro. In the end, is that what it came down to? And the music stopped. He was cute and we were growing closer. We talked a lot. I got her a uniform and we were trying to write a novel together. There was no sense in lying to myself after coming this far. I wanted her. Oh, wait, the music stopped. I do, but that seemed like a fitting answer, but something wasn't right. I already confessed once before, but I couldn't imagine what becoming lovers with her would be like. Had anything changed? Oh, jeez. Like so, the story was steadily approaching its end. Bad vibes rising. Oh, did you mean Chihiro's story?
女の子はやがてなんとか納得できる人間が描けるようになった。
I felt like the game meant both stories. I felt like there was supposed to be a double meaning.
彼女は一人の男の子を描き出した。自身が女性という分類らしいので、その対である男性にしてみようと思ったからだ。
Oh no, it is correlating. Oh, jeez.
ただ、背格好と背景との比率は自分と同じくらいにした。そこで気づいた。自分、女の子、男の子。なるほど。これが比較なんだと。人間をかけたはいいが、それがうまくいっているのか判別もできない少女は、あまり大きく人間を描く気にはなれなかった。だから、今まで描いてきた風景画に男の子を描き加えていくことにした。すべての絵に男の子が描き加えられた。彼女はなんとなくそれらの絵を描いた風景と同じ場所に飾っていった。屋敷の中で絵にしていない場所はなかった。すべての絵の中で男の子はただまっすぐに立っていた。
I do really like how Chihiro, you can tell like Chihiro's putting a lot of her own self into the story too, though. I like that a lot.
そしてまっすぐ前を向いていた。
Like a lot of her own emotions and feelings.
絵を見るたびに目線が合うことになった。 やり遂げた考えは少女になかった。これは人間だろうか。考えてみる。これは人間の絵だ。それも最初から分かっていたことだ。動かない、考えない、ただあるだけだ。寂しい。到達したことでようやく彼女は自問できた。寂しくなかった。
The story was steadily advancing to its conclusion.
どうでしょうか。
I think it's really good. I raised my head. She asked timidly as I confirmed her progress for the day. It looks good. Doesn't this make it around 70% complete? I turned away from the monitor and nodded. Although I had the details of the book in my mind, I felt like my focus was elsewhere. I set my cheeks to try and get myself focused back on the novel.
多分ですけど、もうすぐなのでしょうか。
I don't want it to end soon, Chihiro. I'm scared. Have you decided on how you're going to do it?
どうしましょう。
Like, seriously, I'm so worried about what happened and why he's reading the diary alone in his room in the dark. Or the living room. Wait just a second. I opened up my memo pad. This is where I kept my own records of our exchanges. We've had 2 major ideas for an ending. I counted using the fingers of my freehand one by one. 1, the girl is finally captured in the paintings, and all that remains is a painting of the boy and girl living calmly together. 2, the boy becomes real. I haven't decided exactly how this ending will go, but it's a happy ending. 3, the boy paints his own painting, and a mirror world is open. This one is still just an idea since we only brought it up once.
1番か2番なのでしょうか。
We talked about those quite a few times. I had a tally going. You picked number 1 9 times, and number 2 3 times. Of course, I wasn't about to let her know that. Well, number 1 could either be a happy or sad ending. Let's make it a happy ending, okay?
そうなんですか。
She asked as if this was someone else's work. Although you could keep it written like a fantasy, you could also interpret it as a running away from reality.
壊れるのですね。
He was quick to criticize. It depends on how you look at it, but yes.
なるほど。
She replied and went deep into thought. I waited for about a minute before setting my pen on my memo pad. Is this what's on your mind this time around?
そうですね。壊れると思います。女の子は寂しさを覚えてはいけなかったんです。
Nodding again with an indifferent murmur, I drew another tally by idea number 1. And tallies.
でも、こうやって終わりを決めて書くのは何か嫌ですね。
How so? Really?
神様がいじってるみたいじゃないですか。特に小説は筋道がはっきりするので。
You're right. I slowly began to understand her way of thinking. The heart of what she wanted to write was an allusion to humanity. The characters should arrive at their own answer, not the one that God decided for them. Whether they were searching, changing, and making new discoveries. Of course, the human's decision might coincide with God's. The true significance was that the writer is a God. The readers could hypothesize, sympathize, or possibly be opposed. They could smile, cry, or get mad. Stories are written in a way that would change one's energy or outlook. That is the story's true nature. It is the writer's essence. However, the first reader is the writer.
創作における他者へのイメージ伝達、共感の概念、それに千尋の文章を書く目的が近いってわけさ。
That's how it was. Especially given Chihiro's own environment, she couldn't write an improper ending. However, we could look at it another way. Finishing the story would be beneficial. Both could be correct, and yet both could be incorrect.
どうしましたか？
Just processing some things. My silence must have worried her. She had an anxious expression. Oh, nothing. I was just thinking, when I'm with you, it turns into a study.
勉強ですか？
I was thinking about what writing a novel was all about. It was embarrassing, and I couldn't really put it into words. As usual, do tell me if something is on your mind.
はい。聞いていてください。
Okay, I will, Chihiro, I promise. She whispered kindly and casually. That gratitude in her voice? I thought it was unusual and stared at her. She was looking down at my memo pad, probably because she knew how I recorded her thoughts. The usual smile was cute, but this dignified look was nice as well. I wanted to look on forever, but it was time to go. About time to head home. You want to hold hands? It would easily draw attention if we stayed until the last second, so we left before sunset.
やればできるものなのですね。
Huh? Of course you can, Chihiro. The novel?
はい。もう半分以上。
Oh.
自分でもびっくりしました。
Okay, she's getting more headbats now just for that. Really?
毎日お話が長くなっていて面白いです。レンジ君のおかげです。
I didn't do anything. To be honest, I've been preventing myself from doing anything up until now.
そんなものでしょうか。
That's how it is. Don't you laugh at me. I mimicked her question and we looked at each other and laughed. At this time, there were a few people in the school zone. People who went home immediately after school were obviously gone. The people in clubs and committees would be going home shortly.
レンジ君。
Yes, Chihiro? What?
いえ、何でもありません。
Huh? I replied curtly and kept walking on blankly, trudging along.
そういう反応も嫌いです。
Oh, sorry. What? This is certainly a new technique.
ありがとうございます。
Oh. Oh, yeah. I nodded upon receiving a heartfelt thanks. Was she satisfied? Her hair was hiding part of her face. I wanted to brush it aside and touch her cheek. Did you notice me looking at her? She stared back at me. No, it's nothing. My foolish thoughts left me feeling odd, embarrassed, and a little depressed. I looked up at the sky. The weather's nice. The good old how about that weather. Nothing had even begun, yet I had to laugh at my broken heart. Even up until this point, I was completely satisfied with the short distance between us not growing any closer. Oh, is she not satisfied with that? The sound of footsteps faded. It had suddenly stopped. What's wrong? The cold wind and breeze incited me to keep going.
私にキスしたいですか？
Oh, I see. Huh?
いいですよ。しても。
I see. Not gonna lie, that's not what I expected her to say. Like, I expected some sort of, like, romance moment going on. I didn't expect her to ask that. I don't know what to say. She stared at me blankly. It would help if I could see the front of her face. She stared at me blankly. What was she? No, she knew exactly what the meaning behind my staring was earlier.
別にこういうこと誰に言ってるわけでもないと思います。でも今までレンジ君みたいに親しくなった人なんていないし。
Oh. Looked the same as always, but her eye and voice were faintly trembling.
今までの私はずっとレンジ君と会っていて、それは信頼だと思うし、レンジ君は私のこと好きみたいだから。だから、
Oh.
恋人としてキスしてもいいです。もう一月も経っていて、そういう場面だと思います。
Oh. My mind went blank and I tried to understand what I just heard. A chill went down my spine. My hands shook. I suddenly felt angry. Why are we angry? Angry at myself. Oh, okay. I couldn't answer right away. It's not it. Everything would be fine if I could just say that. For some reason, I hesitated. She'd probably let me do whatever I wanted, whether she recorded it or not. No matter what I did, she would probably permit it. I didn't approve, but I still thought about it. Oh, fuck. Okay, game kills me sometimes. Okay, the way he led into that makes me worried. Because usually I would definitely pick this. Chihiro's great, I love Chihiro, but yeah, the way he said that, I don't know, but the when I did the bad endings for the first hill, like it was always like, no, give her the attention all the time, so. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by its toe. My mom said to pick the very best one. I never remember this song. I don't know why I keep doing it.
Renji-kun.
Sorry, Chihiro. The way he led into that worried me. I don't know. You look concerned. That was when I realized. Why'd the music stop? This was wrong. This was absolutely wrong. After all, her expression hadn't changed in the slightest. It didn't show even an inkling of happiness when she said we would become lovers. And she hadn't said one word about liking me. That's not it. I was finally able to say it. My voice sounded haphazard, like it wasn't mine. I don't know if that was right or not. Her expression crumbled. Her body was trembling. As she held her arm, her gaze dropped to the ground. It looked so pitiful, I wanted to look away. Fine, you're not at fault here. That was all I could say. The palms of my hands were soaked in sweat. Becoming lovers and kissing. I probably just read my mood. There was nothing wrong with that. What was wrong was... Let's split up here today. Did I fuck up? I was trying as hard as I could to not worry her. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Chihiro. I didn't know what to do. It replied with her nasally voice. I hadn't heard it in quite a while. It made her cry again. Even so, I wanted her to leave quickly. I thought I couldn't do anything. The sound of her footsteps faded into the distance as I stared down at my feet. Oh, Chihiro! I'm sorry. The silhouette halted. I wanted to say something important. Just this once. It might have been a mistake, but it was for her sake. You don't have to write what happened today in your diary. Aww. That's sweet. Didn't respond. She stood there for several seconds before running off. Oh, bye, Chihiro. I need advice, Mr. Himura, please. I need help. Unable to go home, I wandered the city. Suddenly I realized that my legs would no longer move. The sun had set long ago, and I had no idea what time it was. My entire body was freezing, but that wasn't enough of a punishment for me. Then my cell phone rang. I shut it off because the ringtone annoyed me. There was a fever in my mind. Yeah, you're telling me, Renji. I've been sick this whole time. It was the most I had ever thought about something in my whole life. That's right. My voice sounded unusual. I finally understood. I really understood. Mr. Imura's warning. Coming into contact with Chihiro meant this would happen. I couldn't get too involved. Oh.
もう一月も経っていて、そういう場面だと思います。
There was that remark. That was what really struck me. It made me go absolutely mad. I knew what it was. It was the appropriate setting part. I had counted. It was just like that novel. It was like she was making an appearance in a novel she was reading. She was observing her relationship with me. 1 month. She had indifferently counted our meetings for the past month. It was like she killed time day by day waiting for a specific date on the calendar. She was scared. Really scared. Probably thought that if it were a novel, it'd be okay. There was a story that ended after a month. I helped her finish her novel. It would mark the occasion by becoming lovers with me. We would kiss on the path home under the sunset. And that would cue the final curtain. I think I fucked up. That's not how it works. Oh, jeez. Are we okay? Oh, jeez. My body felt numb from the cold, but I was still drenched in sweat. If this were a story, that would be the finale. But it wasn't. This was reality, and there was more to tell. I felt anxious while I was cooking this morning. What would happen once we became lovers? Was there more beyond that? Yeah, I think this is a bad ending. Oh, jeez. I laughed scornfully at myself. In my mind, I had wanted to do even more than just kiss her. It occupied my thoughts. It defiled my mind over and over again. That was something different. We weren't at that level. Can I introduce her to my mother as my girlfriend? Can I be with a girl who can only remember for 13 hours before her memory disappeared? Of course we can! You were talking like it would have been a problem if we said yes, cause why'd you lead into it that way, Reggie? I blame you. Can I disregard her handicap that easily? My knees gave out. I was scared. So scared I thought I would cry. Jeez, a sheep. Isn't that the girl from my dreams? I thought of a dying sheep starving in the middle of a pasture. Jeez. Hello? It was a melancholic awakening. I felt like I dreamt about a sheep. After I couldn't sleep, I spent the night counting them. Huh? I felt sort of uncomfortable. I thought I was awake, but I felt lightheaded. Maybe I was actually half asleep. I couldn't think straight. Me either, Renji. Huh? Body could only jerk as I tried to get out of bed. Did I catch a cold? What's happening? Hello? Is the story still going? Was that not a bad ending? Because I felt like a bad ending. What the fuck is happening? Game, please stop. I held my pounding head as I attempted to walk to school. With no cough, headache, stuffy nose, stomachache, or any other symptoms to speak of, I must not have looked as bad as I felt. Goodness gracious, it was only vertigo. Knowing how bad my temperature was would just make me feel worse, so I stopped checking it. Worst case scenario, I'll sit for classes and meet Chihiro around lunchtime. And I can explain the situation and go home early. Is she not gonna show up today? I feel like she isn't. I assured myself and pushed forward. I couldn't rest no matter what. Not today. If I unexpectedly didn't show up, Chihiro would get anxious. It'd also be troubling if she thought I was dragging out what happened yesterday. No, I really was dragging it out. To a foolish extent. Even the novel was an excuse to be with her. Although I wanted to take the day off and rest, I absolutely couldn't. Everyone's waited for me so long that she caught a cold. This was probably retribution. It's tough. I couldn't help but laugh at the irony. However, there was something I had to know. I had to confirm whether or not she wrote down what happened yesterday in her diary. Hiro? I went to the library at the end of the first period, but there was no sign of her. Oh no. This was probably as usual. During the teacher's lecture, I just pretended to take notes. Everything went in one ear and out the other. My consciousness was hazy at best. I may have been awake, but the scribbles in my notes looked like wriggling earthworms. Ugh, earthworms. Gross. I hate worms. Hiro still wasn't there at the end of the second period. Oh no. I gave up and returned to the classroom. Third period. Thankfully, there was no gym class this morning. My mind was a little sharper now than it was this morning. However, the sweating wouldn't stop.
Renji-kun.
Oh.
どうしたんですか?
Is it weird that I'm also kind of sweating with this right now? Is that weird? Hi, Chihiro. Oh, Thank goodness. We came sometime between third and fourth period. Nobody was in the library yet. I waved and greeted her. I'm not feeling too great, but I wanted to at least tell you I was going home early.
風邪ですか？
Yeah.
ダメですよ。風邪なのに学校なんかに来ては。
That's true.
大丈夫ですか？いや、大丈夫じゃないんでしょうけど。
I can't tell, Chihiro. I don't know what's happening anymore. He came up beside me and peered at my face. This gesture seemed really childish. I'm not alright, but the sight of your face makes me feel a little better. I grinned, but suddenly became painful now that I had peace of mind. I sat on the edge of a nearby desk. I was glad. He hadn't changed. First, I'd have written down what happened yesterday.
一人で帰れますか？それとも保健室へ行った方がいいのでしょうか？
I'm still not sure we're out of the woods, to be honest. I need something more definite to let me know it's not a bad ending. I still can't tell. I'll rest for a bit, then go home. It was a strange feeling to see how nervous and worried she was for me. I didn't think she'd get so concerned over a cold. She didn't say anything and just stood near me. The relaxing atmosphere of the library made me zone out until the bell rang. We both looked at the speaker. I was still too weak to stand up, so I just took a breath and ignored it. The ringing stopped and it fell as silent as a late night on a snowy day.
よろしければ帰りは私が付き添いましょうか？
Oh, I mean, if you're okay with that, then yeah, that'd be nice. She held out her hand. That was all. That was all, and yet... Oh. She nearly touched my arm, so I backed away. We gazed at each other. It wasn't really a conscious decision, but I could see why I reacted that way.
レンジ君。
Yes, Chihiro. She looked like she was about to burst into tears. Sorry. I guess I'm a little out of it. As opposed to my previous perspiration from illness, words made me break out into a cold sweat. I was scared. I was scared of being touched by Chihiro right now. It's alright. I can make it home by myself. Oh no. I didn't want to worry her any further, so I smiled and stood up. Oh.
2日ほど私はここに来ないようにします。
No, you don't have to do that. Please don't do that. Oh, jeez. She was giving me time to rest. Got it.
それじゃあ今度は3日後に。
Okay, bye, Chihiro. Yeah. I bowed quickly and waved goodbye. As I walked towards the exit. Chihiro?
Hi.
Thanks for worrying about me. And my throat was dry from the fever and my voice was raspy. But I tried to say this with as much encouragement as possible. You have to finish writing that novel. Don't give up. Aww. Oh. I was settled in bed quite nicely. There was practically no time left until the story was finished. However, time pushed forward. It relentlessly flowed on without giving way for anyone. Hello?
レンジくたばってるか？
The fuck are you doing? Somebody hadn't seen her all shut up with a radiant voice. Mr. Kuze?
寝たままでいいよ。
He stopped me as I tried to get out of bed. But I simply sat up. Moving with my head throbbed in pain and my vision blurry. I felt awful. What is it today?
とどめを刺しに。
You're not very frank, are you? My call was something of a joke compared to my increasingly complicated relationship with Chihiro.
本当はお見舞い。お土産は今に置いておいたよ。
Got me a present? Thank you.
すみれさんはいないんだね。
His eyes wandered around the room. So she's the one you really came to see, huh? There was quite a commotion yesterday. I don't need to be nursed anymore, though, so she went to work.
そっか。
Was he planning on leaving right away? I stood there without so much as taking a seat.
調子はどう？
Still very concerned. Colds aren't so great.
それだけ喋れれば大丈夫だな。水でも持ってこようか。
No, I need love advice. No, I'm fine.
じゃあ土産話を一つ披露しよ
Is it romantic advice?
う。昔地中海の船上パーティーで演奏する機会があったんだけど、そこにしけが来ちゃって船がタイタニックばりに揺れる揺れる。
Covered my mouth and groaned. Why are you telling me that kind of story? It looks like he's about to freaking like. It looks like he's about to like vomit or something. Seriously, was he here just to pester me? Oh, come to think of it,
何？
I keep forgetting to ask. What kind of relationship do you and Mr. Himura have?
腐れ縁だよ。
I see. Sadly inseparable, huh? That's interesting. He asserted that carelessly. Were you in school together?
うん。音羽の元クラスメイト。
Ah, just like with him and Yuuko. Interesting. Were you his Kyosuke?
実は腐れ縁といっても、俺がドイツに留学しちゃったから2年くらいの付き合いなんだけど。
Oh? I didn't think that was long enough to call them sadly inseparable at all. He grinned as though my question were natural.
時間で測れば短いけど、日村のやつはあの性格だからね。そもそも友達なんて俺しかいなかったんだよ。それに俺が留学した後もいろいろなことがあって。あ、
Yes?
隣の家も日村の紹介で借りてるんだ。
Okay, I see. Lots of things happen? That was a peculiar place to pause his story. He was dodging something.
うん。秘密。
Alright. He smiled, full of playfulness. Well, okay. I readily withdrew. Getting an answer out of him would be impossible. He had a surprising sense of honor, so I just assumed that it was something serious.
ところでさ、一つ千尋ちゃんのことですごいこと思いついたんだけど。
Yes, what is it, Shuichi? I'll take anything you got. What is it?
千尋ちゃんって13時間で記憶が消える以上、体はともかく心はいつまでも処女のままなんだな。
Alright, cool, thanks, good to know. Get out of here! I pointed at the door and shouted straight at him.
怒らない怒らない。悪かったよ。でもこれが流せないくらいは好きになっちまったわけか。
Maybe. I suddenly felt ashamed. I was right. Of course it was a joke.
気づかなかった。ごめん。
He apologized once more, this time accompanied by a bow. Thinking of sincerely apologizing to someone younger than himself made me uneasy. It's okay. What was I doing to take out my own competence on other people? Mr. Kuze, how would you grant someone's dream? I asked a question I figured I'd end up asking him one day. He smiled wide with just a slight shift in his gaze.
簡単だ。夢を叶えるにはまず夢そのものがないといけない。
Alright, you got anything else?
こうなりたい、ああしたい、あれが欲しい。夢でも欲望でも何でもいいんだけど、あの子を口説きたいとかさ、金が欲しいでも地位が欲しいでも、いい悪いは抜きにしてそういうイメージだな。
Image?
そう、意志という言葉でもいい。俺はそれがこれだったわけだ。
Violin? He held it in his arms like he was holding a violin. Yep.
何か演奏してやろうか？
Are you gonna play me the air violin? He was like a mime, but the smooth movements of his fingertips were genuine. Right now would be... Thanks, but my head is killing me.
風邪が治ってからか
Yeah.
な。もったいないと思うけど。
What's wrong?
いや、なんだろう。
He grabbed his chest and made a mysterious expression.
持病の癪かな。
Stop doing that in front of a sick person. I subconsciously smirked.
シロちゃんとどんな小説を書いてるの？
He started smiling again and changed the topic. That novel is... Right. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I also thought about Chihiro. And about the last girl alive in the world.
女の子は絵を眺めていることが多くなった。
Alright. So, yeah. I think we should be good. Still not entirely sure, but we should be good. It feels like it, because I feel like it would have stopped at that point if we actually did get a bad ending from that. Oh, Rude Ellie. Oof. Getting more and more intense and very depressing, and I'm still very concerned regardless because of, again, how he's reading the diary in the present time. But yeah, and yeah, he said it's coming to like the last few pages of that diary, so that's still concerning. Like, either way, whether I did make the wrong choice or not, I'm still scared either way. But yeah. Oof. But like, again, I'm always like, the atmosphere in this game always like so sucks me in so much. I get like so super invested. I can't begin to tell you how much I like really feel what the characters are feeling too. Especially, man, like when Chihiro's like telling a story, or in that one scene with Renji after the choice we made, and then he started like freaking out and sweating and clutching his chest. Yeah, I felt that heavy. My jeez.